Baby, I'm back for some housewife chat. You guys know where I've been, especially if you follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I'm sorry that this is late, but it's pilot season, and you know that our sister is what? Booked and busy, and I cannot wait to tell you guys everything that I am working on. But until it comes out, anyway, a lot has happened in this season, and I just wanted to give you a brief summary of some of the important things that I felt was, important enough to talk about, but not important enough to give a full review because a lot of episodes wasn't giving me a lot, but this one here did a damn thing. So let's get into it. So nothing really monumental happened in I believe the second to last episode or whatever that episode was that I missed where they were talking about or trying to expose Eva's financial situation. Here is the thing. Eva, unfortunately, is the victim of having a hater in your community. You know what I mean? Hashtag Eric Holder. That's the dude that took out Nipsey Hussle. May his soul rest in peace. Can I tell y'all something? I didn't know a lot about this man, but what I do know from living out here is that he is like this generation's Tupac. LA is in mourning, guys. Mourning. From what you see on the news, it does not match up to what is really happening out here in these streets. I know people that called off of work when they heard that he passed. Like, it's serious. They really love that man out here. And from what I'm starting to learn about him, he was a great guy. And it's unfortunate that he got cut off at the right age of 33. But I digress, and I'm glad I digressed on that because he needed this moment. Anyway, concerning Eva, that's what her situation is. She had somebody that was really close to her, that knew a lot of her team, knew a lot of her business, and was jealous of her success because a lot of people are next to you and you think that they're rooting for you and cheering for you and helping you out every step of the way when really they want to be you. So when the time comes when they can at least take some of your shine or hinder you in some way, they do it because they're jealous that they don't have that same opportunity or that same spotlight. It happens all the time, even to people who have nothing. If you have any kind of light, there is always somebody who harbors darkness who is going to try to take it from you. This is what Eva is dealing with. She has somebody that was not only in her wedding, but somebody who she called her sister, who knew all of her tea and information, who was never really a friend because, my God, today, if you were ever her friend, how could you so quickly jump to exposing her and telling the world, because she was on Instagram as well, telling the world all of her business, all of her deep, dark secrets. Like, you were never a friend. You are never a friend. And I hope they even knows that about that girl, Lolita, Shanita, whatever her name is. She was never your friend, sis. Never, ever, ever. And unfortunately, she found out the hard way because what that girl did was, I'm going to say this. I do believe it, right? I do believe that Eva is not saying that she's having financial hardships, but I do believe that she's trying to keep up with the Joneses. And that's what happens to all of these housewives. So it's not just Eva, right? A lot of these housewives do this. So Eva isn't the only one. This is why a lot of our favorite housewives have gone to prison for all kinds of fraud because they're trying to keep up with the Joneses that this show requires. Like, you have to live a certain lifestyle. That is one of the requirements for being a housewife. You have to be wealthy or rich or at least have that lifestyle where you are able to be rubbing elbows and in community with people who are millionaire and billionaires, because that lets the show know that although you might not be there yet, hello Bethany, you will be there eventually because you're in the right circle. So unfortunately, Eva was trying to keep up. So she was renting these different places, renting this paint, putting out all this money for that wedding. That's why she was crying, because she was putting out a lot of her own coin for this wedding and just doing all of this stuff, having all those elaborate dresses just so she can look like she has all of this money. Let me tell you something. One thing I do know about this show, and we'll call it word on the street or allegedly, but there are only 3 housewives who really got that coin on this freaking show. On the Real Housewives of Atlanta, there are only 3, and one of them is Nene. She is the only one who really has the coin that she brags about. Another one is Kandi. Kandi don't brag about it, but Kandi is the wealthiest housewife on this show. And the third, you probably don't know this, is Portia. Portia plays dumb, guys. She plays dumb. Portia has several businesses that is doing very, very well. They are the top dogs in pay. They are also the top dogs in pay on this show. So they are the only ones who are really getting money like that, who can honestly flash and, be all gaudy or whatever on this show. But then if you're a cast member who does not have that, you got to do what you got to do to keep up with it. And unfortunately, somebody who was close to Eva expose that truth. And I don't think anything is wrong with that. The fact that Eva doesn't have what Nene or these other housewives has, but she's on a show and she has to keep up this appearance. I also think that what Eva said about moving locations and being afraid of her baby father or her child's donor or whatever, I do believe her in that. I'm telling you guys, that dude is not well. That dude is not well. There have been things that he has done online with the erasing his daughter, giving him away to Eva's husband, and he will post like these really terrifying videos on Instagram about her and about his daughter. And it was even one where he posted where I clicked off that video and I just went into prayer for Eva and that family because I was very concerned. The way he was acting was alarming. So I also do believe that they have to move several times a year to not come into contact with this guy. I do believe that. But I also believe, unfortunately, the gossip. And I didn't like Nene, who calls herself her sister, sitting there eating it up. But word on the street, allegedly, Nene is not really that friend to Eva that she thinks. Nene is working with Eva. Like, that's her co-worker. She does not care. She will throw her under the bus right away. Like, she does not care. Word on the street is when they're done filming, Nene don't want to be bothered with Eva. Nene has to be forced to film scenes with Eva. She is not her friend. And unfortunately, Eva didn't know that. She went into this thinking that Nene was her friend, so she wouldn't say anything negative about her. She would fight back with production if they wanted to try to get her, allegedly, if they wanted to try to get her to say anything negative about Nene, because she considers her friend and also feels very indebted to her for Nene introducing her onto the show. So that's the whole dynamic of that relationship. And unfortunately, Eva is finding out now that it's not what she thought it was. So hopefully, if she comes back next season, she ain't got no loyalty to Nene and she can really be herself. I would also love for her to tell the truth about the situation, because what's going to happen is the more you keep on lying about it to try to get in front of it, this girl, your hater, is going to continue to profit off of it. Because while you were saying these things weren't true, she was on Instagram showing that you rented this house from her and the only reason why you were moving that fast is because she was evicting you because you guys had a falling out. So it didn't look well for you, because it also looked like you were trying to get in front of the story filming that scene with Candy. It just really looked set up, and I would love if you just tell the truth about your situation. I really would, because in this industry, you have to look like you have it even when you don't. You know what I mean? And it's so sad. So many people get caught up in scams. So many people get caught up in, real talk, guys, prostitution. There are a lot of people who are sleeping with people in all kinds of sexual favor situations to get ahead, because you have to look like you got it out here. You have to look like you have it in this industry, especially if you want to be on TV and be a part of this lavish lifestyle kind of reality TV show. You got to look like you have it. And unfortunately, if you don't have it, then you are the one who is on the chopping block. And I feel bad for Eva, because I don't know how she can get out of this situation. I do think that she will win over the viewers if she's just honest about her situation. We would love to see just somebody being real about the situation. Like, look, I had it, I ain't got it now, I'm trying to get it back, follow me on this journey. Something like that. Or just showing how when you were younger and new in this industry, you could do all of these things. Now you're a mom and you're trying to figure out how I can still sustain myself financially and also be the stay-at-home mom and wife that I want to be. That would be a great storyline for her, but I just don't know if that's Eva. You know what I mean? Eva the diva, Eva the glam queen or whatever. She has been known to have all these kind of lavish personalities and things said about her. So I don't know if she could fall back into that. But I think it would be a really good storyline for her if she does come back. Now, let's get into this episode. Nene, I'm gonna need for you to stop acting like Swag is selling Prada. Swag ain't selling nothing Prada. Swag is selling nada. All of this stuff is Fashion Nova sweatshop knockoff. Y'all are getting your garments from the same child sweatshop. So let's stop playing these games like you have these fabulous garments when really they are not. I will say this about Cynthia. Although a lot of her businesses have not been that successful, I love the fact that she is pulling a Bethany, pulling a Candy Burris. She is getting ahead of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, she is getting out there and trying to get these deals from all over the place. This Seagram's drink or whatever, I think it's a smart idea. I hope it does well, because if you're on this platform, you're giving yourself a commercial for at least 45 minutes. Make something of it. Get on this show and promote this freaking drink. I want to see you doing it every episode next season, Sistah. I really want to see you make this work. Because you can get a nice coin from this. Real talk. Also, let's talk about Kandi not going to Porsha's gender reveal because Porsha doesn't come to your stuff. Kandi, I love you. Here's why Porsha doesn't come to your stuff. Your staff assaults her. Like, every time Porsha comes to anything that you are doing, there is somebody from your staff, some freaking plant that tries to harm her in whatever way, whether it's physical or verbal. Somebody from your camp tries to harm her. I wouldn't go to your stuff either. I would not go to anything that you have. Every incident that Porsha has had on this season and last has been because she has gone to something of yours that you have invited her to where she's been treated poorly. Ty gets on the microphone and talks about her. Your staff comes up to her and bring ex-girlfriends in front of her new man. They saying things about her. They trying to get her in arguments outside. Don Juan even approached her trying to fight her. Like, girl, are you serious? I can't believe you're taking this stance like, oh, she don't support me. Well, I'm not going to support your stuff if I'm going to get dragged by your demons every damn time I come to one of your events. I will not. I won't support. You have never been attacked verbally or physically at anything that Porsha has held. She has invited you to everything and you have been treated properly. I cannot say the same for you and your staff with how you treat Porsha at any of your stuff. So you just have to be realistic here. I get that you feel some sort of way, but talk to the girl and ask her why. And when you find out the reason, tell your staff, we cool now, leave her alone. Because that's why she's not coming to your stuff. Especially after she's had a miscarriage, she's pregnant, she's trying to stay away from all the freaking drama because after a woman loses a child, she is extra careful the next time. She does not want to do all that stuff that will get her into a situation where she could jeopardize losing her baby. So I get her not coming to your stuff. I get her not wanting to be stressed out while carrying this miracle baby. Like, girl, come on, Kandi. I love you, but you being ridiculous. Now, let's get into this Nene and Kenya and Cynthia drama. Here's the tea about this situation. Nene feels some sort of way because she doesn't feel like, or she hasn't seen Cynthia defend her the same way she has defended Kenya this season. What is happening with Kenya, allegedly, is that because she did not put her relationship on the show, she really messed up when she got married and didn't let the show know. That was her first big oops. The second one was not allowing them to be in on the journey with her and her husband. Like, that was another thing. When you come on the show, you are supposed to film your life. You cannot keep certain parts of your life private. It just doesn't work. Bravo is known for kicking a cast member off the show if they don't bring in a partner. Even if the partner isn't willing, you have to film something. Bravo don't like that, okay? Talk to Asa from the Shouts of Sunset. She would not bring that husband on or that baby father Jackson on, and they got her right off the show. And that was my favorite person on that show, but she wouldn't show her relationship, and she could not show it because her boyfriend, her baby daddy, did not agree to be on the show. So there's nothing that you can do. But then Bravo is just like, well, we have everybody else who is showing us every crevice of their life, and you're keeping this secret. It's not fair, so we're going to let you go. That's what happened with Kenya, allegedly, okay? So allegedly, the whole season, she has been trying to find ways to get on the show, and all of the ladies have worked together collectively to not allow her to film because they don't want no beef with Nene. Cynthia was the only one who took the bait because Kenya was trying to get invited to everything, allegedly. and she was being denied all across the board. Like, even her good friend Kandi was just like, I don't want that beef. Like, no, she can't come here. She can't come here. Even when she would show up to events, they would not film her. Because in a way, it was a sort of punishment for her not really playing ball. And even when she thought that she was going to get a little spinoff, she thought that was going to work her favor. When that didn't work out, she tried to come back to the show, and the only person who bit was Cynthia, and that is why Nene has a problem. Nene really doesn't have a beef with Kenya. The issue here is that Kenya actually has beef with Nene. Allegedly, Kenya was going back and forth to the studio, Bravo Studios, trying to get them to get her back on the show. The only person who really has that kind of pull with the Real Housewives of Atlanta is Nene. There's no secret that Nene, Bethany, and Vicki Gunvalson are the top dogs at Bravo. Like, at least the Vanderpump. That network will do whatever they can to accommodate those personalities. So Nene was one of the people who can really fight to keep people on the show. Portia was a great example. Portia was out. The only reason why she was still back on the show was because of Nene, guys. Allegedly, this is the tea, right? So Kenya has an issue with Nene because Nene did not speak up to Andy. Nene didn't fight for her to stay on the show like she fought for Portia. But Nene and Kenya, even though they squashed their beef, Nene never liked Kenya because when Kenya first got on the show, she came for her. And I mean, she did what you're supposed to do when you want to get camera time. And the only reason why Kenya continued to stay on the show is because she was this messy villain and you needed somebody like that. Nene didn't like that because Kenya would really come for her and Nene couldn't intimidate her like she did all the other girls. So that was the issue. So that's the reason why Nene didn't say yes or no. She just didn't speak up. She just didn't defend Kenya. She just didn't say let her be on the show. She did not use her power to keep Kenya on the show. And that was Kenya's last straw. That's why she came after Nene. That's why she started taking them little shots because they weren't talking to each other. They were like very cordial. But when Kenya realized that she was not going to be on the show this season at all, not even as a friend, that's when she started getting petty, taking the shots at Nene, and Nene felt some way about it. And she felt like with Cynthia being her friend, she should have never invited her there. Here's where Cynthia messed up because Kandi was her ride or die. Kandi was going to hold on to the lie. But when Cynthia called her, it was just like, listen, I want to make sure we got the same story. And the reason why she said this is because Kandi was about to go on her confessional. She had already talked in her confessional about the situation. Kandi was about to film hers, and she wanted to make sure they had the same story. But Kandi warned her. She said, I might. And Cynthia kept on talking. So she messed herself up with that. Here is where I'm at with the situation. I am fully on the side of Cynthia, right? Because I think that Nene is being ridiculous. I do, however, understand where she's coming from. Because outside of the show, Nene and Cynthia are really friends. They are really friends. Nene ain't friends with nobody else aside from Marlo. But Marlo and Cynthia are her real friends. She really does hang with them, right? So Nene felt blindsided because she knows that Cynthia really will defend Kenya because Cynthia shut down any kind of gossip, any kind of tea. Anytime the ladies tried to talk about her, she shut it down. Nene felt like, since you're such a friend to her and I'm supposed to be your sister, why didn't you let me know this girl that was talking bad about me was coming? Why didn't you tell her that, hey, you can't come to my event because you were mean to my friend? That's what Nene wanted her to do. And I get that. I really, really do. I also get where Cynthia's coming from, right? Because Cynthia's just like, this is my event. I can invite my friends. But Nene, as somebody who has been her friend longer, who she feels like we call each other sisters, you could at least let me know this girl was coming so I can make the decision on whether or not I actually want to go to this event. It felt like, at least let me be prepared for what I'm about to walk into. That's where I can side with Nene, where it's just like, you know what? Let me know what's going on before I walk into it. Nene felt slighted. She felt like Cynthia was doing this for storyline, which she was, and she didn't like that her being upset was a part of Cynthia's storyline. So that's where the beef is. However, in my opinion, Nene is being unreasonable. You cannot use your husband's sickness and everything that you're going through. I'm sorry. I'm in a group chat with my family and for some reason I cannot shut it off on my computer. So forgive me for all the beeps. Anyway, I just feel like you cannot use what you're going through to consistently manipulate people's feelings and how they treat you. Like, she's manipulating the situation for favor. You know what I mean? Every time she does something wrong or she feels like she's losing power over the people within this cast, she starts to pull, well, I'm going through a lot, and she starts all the crying and tries to get sympathy in that way. And you overlook her poor behavior because she's going through a lot. That's not fair. That's not fair. And how she was talking to Cynthia, how she was treating Cynthia, I didn't agree with it. I did not agree with it. And it's unfortunate that a real friendship had to fall apart. However, here is what I think is happening. This season wasn't that good. They knew this going in. I also feel like this extra scene that they shot, like after the wrap up, because this is the first time I've ever seen anything like this. I have never in my life, in watching this show, seen a wrap up and and then after the wrap up, an additional scene. Here is what I think has happened. This season has been garbage, right? So what they did was they shot a new scene that they did not shoot the whole season. This season was wrapped by the time they shot this scene with Cynthia. So all that the next day crap, that's not true. They shot this scene so that they can go into the reunion and so that they can go into the new season with all of this drama and all this buildup and create all this, like, you know, what's going to happen next season so we all can come back to it, because a lot of people, myself included, have not been wowed or interested in watching or even reviewing this show. I feel like this scene was shot later. I don't think it was during the season. I think they're just trying to figure out how to keep us interested, because the ratings have been down. The show has not been doing well, and they want to give us something to make us come back. I honestly feel like this is something set up between Cynthia and Nene, but I feel like everybody's in on it. I don't think that this is a real storyline. And another reason why I think that is because right before this episode came up, Nene and Cynthia started all this fighting on Instagram and all this stuff. And Nene and Portia started all this stuff. And it's just like, it's too coincidental. You know what I mean? All of this happens right before this episode and right before the reunion. They do it every season. Every Housewife franchise does this. All of them. New York does it. Beverly Hills does it. Potomac does it. Southern California. Yeah, Orange County. Orange County does it. They all do it. It's all of this. Let's build up to, you know, the reunion and get all this drama and everything going. So they start releasing text messages. They start getting into Twitter wars and all of this stuff, right? But this one was strategic. This one was really strategic, just to get us all to come back, not only just to the reunion, but to the next season. Because this, I'm telling you, first of all, you also have to look at how different everybody looked. There was a visible difference. It wasn't no next day. This was next month, the next few months. Like, this was after the reunion tape. This was all of that. Nah. This was planned. This was planned. This is storyline. I don't believe that Nene and Cynthia are going through it. Next season is going to be all about Cynthia and Nene trying to rekindle their friendship again. And how we've done it so many times, guys. It's time to clean house, Bravo. I don't know if you're going to get rid of the production company or the cast. Something has to go in this dynamic because it's stale. It's not working anymore. So something needs to change. Anyway, although I wasn't into this season, sad to say, this was the best episode of the season, and it's the finale. Like, that's not good. You know what I mean? But I am looking forward to the reunion, and hopefully when they do, because they are going to come back for season 12, I just don't know in what form. I don't know if we're going to have the same people. Portia is in a different place now, so she's not going to be as messy. She's a mom. You know, I don't know if her new journey as a mom and soon-to-be wife is interesting enough. You know what I mean? I think if she's happy, I want her off the show. And not saying that I want people on this show that are miserable, but it's a lot better when you don't got nothing to lose. Now Portia's a mom and a wife, and her husband is not really about all the drama and the mess, so she's probably only going to be acting out a certain way. So I don't know if she's going to be giving us the Portia that we're used to. You know what I mean? Kandi has always been consistent. She's always been in a good place. She's always been thriving in her businesses, and I think we've seen all we can see from her. You know, she's just going to continue to grow. She's going to continue to be a mogul, and I don't think that that's interesting enough for another season. Nene has just been such a bore, such a bitter bore this season that it's just, I feel like she's even turned off her fans. You know what I mean? Shamari, nice girl, not interesting. Tanya, nice girl, wrong franchise. She needs to be in Beverly Hills, in my opinion. She fits better there. I think tax bracket wise, work wise, and intellect, and just how she carries herself, I feel like that is more of the community that she is a part of, and I think she'll be the perfect person to diversify that show, because I love Saint Denise, but she is a bore. Who else was on the show? Marlo, keep her. She's messy. Marlo ain't got nothing to lose. She ain't got no children. She ain't got no husband. That's not a read. That's just the truth, right? So she don't have nothing to lose. We don't really know about her businesses. This is her money. This is her sanctuary. So she's going to do what she can to stay. So I would say definitely keep Marlo, but I don't know about anybody else. I don't think these girls work that well together. If we bring Eva back, I want to see honest Eva. I don't want to see this facade of Eva. I want to see who she really is. I don't know if we're going to get that. I like that ghetto girl from Clark County, Clark, Atlanta, whatever. I like her. I like her. She's just enough spice that this show needs. I feel like if you bring back the OGs, then you got to mix it up and bring back some new, young, fresh meat that wants to get out there, wants to snatch a good coin, and wants to get another season because they're going to be hungry. Please bring back Phaedra. She's messy. She's messy, guys. She's messy and she's good TV and she knows exactly what she's doing. I'm sorry, Candy, but this show needs her. This show really does need her. Kenya, people want Kenya to come back. I don't know if she's going to be messy. I really, really don't know if she's going to be the type of Kenya that we're used to, the villain. You know, she's a mom now, she's happy. I don't know if she's going to give us villain. And speaking of Kenya, I forgot to talk about this. Can we talk about how horrible Nene was to her? Like, she was just such a brat. It was like Kenya came in, just think about it, right? Nene, you're beefing with 2 pregnant women at the time. Like, she was coming at Portia, talking about all the weight that she gained. She was coming at Kenya, and a girl could hear her. She could hear everything that she was saying, and she really held herself together until the end when she gave Nene that deserved shade. Why say bye to you on the whole night you're calling me a walrus and a hippo or whatever? Say she's gained a lot of weight. Like, just keep on saying, like, negative things about a woman who's pregnant, who's not even featuring you. She did not come in here trying to be messy to you. She took that mic from Cynthia. Cynthia ain't give her that mic. Kenya did what she came to do. She came here with this big belly and this tight behind dress and stole focus because she wants to get back on this damn show. She was auditioning again. She was letting them know that she can bring it, that she has a story. But I just don't know if she will be the one that we need her to be to get this show back. You know what I mean? But I do like how she carried herself with Nene. I think if you bring Nene back, then you have to bring Kenya back because that is some real drama. You know what I mean? And that is somebody who will go toe to toe with her. Hopefully, we will see. But Nene, just in this finale, it was ugly, sis. It was not a good look for you. It's unfortunate what's happening with you and with Greg. I'm so glad that he's doing better. But maybe you shouldn't have filmed this season if you had so many things going on because you beat up your entire support system. And it just was not a good look for you, sis. It wasn't a good look. Anyway, that's all I have to say about this episode and this season. Let me know in the comment section what you think, what you expect from the reunion, and if you will be tuning in for season 12. Thank you so much for stopping by NikkiStar TV. I totally appreciate it. Please continue to follow this channel. I'm putting up more content as we speak. Please select that notification bell so you can get a notification when I post new things. I'm going to try to get current. I'm always going to try, but YouTube is a fun hobby. It's a fun extension of myself. My full-time job is as an actress, and that is my first priority. And I need to make that work because I ain't Lupita Nyong'o, okay? I ain't even in her tax bracket, okay? So every opportunity that comes in, guys, I gotta take it. I love you. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate all of the support, and I will see you soon for something else. Love you guys.